for those of you who are wondering. There we go. I can see everyone getting. I can see everyone getting rowdy there. There we go. It started now. It started. Don't worry. I'm here. I'm here. Um, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see all of you in here. Before we start, obviously, all of the topics of today, because we got a lot to go through. We've actually got news and things to talk about, which is a rarity these days. So, like, hence why I thought of summoned this congregation for this live stream, because there's a lot to go over, and I can't wait to talk about it, because honestly, it feels so good to have actually something to discuss and actually something to talk about. But with that said, let's get into just reading the chat first of all. So hello to, oh, the polls are in the way. Dan23, Michael Rick and Morty fan, 32, Alternate 13th, Jags Doodle, Jason Peace, Alternate 13, I don't know whether I said that already, JD, Bryson's channel, or Brian's channel, or I'm not saying that right, am I? I'm so sorry. And Ash K, Paul Malley, Blair Who, Dino posting stuff, and I think that's everyone, and Angry Pacifist. There we go. So hello to all of you, hope you're doing okay. I can't wait to get into this. Let's just get right into it. Also, just want to say right here at the top of the stream, it is actually my birthday on Monday. So if you do want to send in any super chats, obviously you don't have to, it's entirely optional. But if there was ever a stream where you'd like to, this would be a great stream to do it. So obviously it's completely optional, but yeah, with that said, let's get into the stuff. Because there's a couple of things before we talk about the main stuff I want to discuss in this live stream. So first of all, we got 4 new audio releases coming from Doctor Who, not Big Finish. The Capaldi one, I saw some confusion about this. It's actually an impressionist, I believe. So it's a collection of 12 Doctor Tales, A Menace from Underwater, and Cyberman's Revenge. So yeah, not Big Finish, but still cool nonetheless. This is actually some really interesting stuff, and I don't know whether I saw anyone talk about this, but basically, the casting call for Series 13 basically confirms that the pirate episode will involve Chinese pirates, which is something that we spoke about before. This is from Cultbox. Cultbox is a great resource, by the way. On 21st June 2021, a casting agency typically tasked with providing extras for various productions put out a call for Chinese men to play pirates for an exciting BBC programme on Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but a saved screenshot for the photo contains a photo of an Asian man with the words casting call and Chinese men. The text post read, "We are looking for men of Southeast Asian descent to play pirates for an exciting BBC programme 18+, along with a COVID test date and a fitting date in June." The post lists the locations as Cardiff and shooting dates as 1st, 5th, and 6th of July, so they would have just passed. In addition to the casting agency's post, there is another post on Facebook which seems to directly be quoting an urgent casting call which came from the Doctor Who production office on June 29th, 2021. The casting call is posted on a Facebook group called British Chinese Network. This time the casting call was for men to play sailors and men and women to play villagers on the 5th and 6th of July. The additional casting suggests the production needed 5 more men in addition to the ones they had already cast. 5 extras needed for Doctor episode, Reservoir Sailors, dates, 5th and 6th of July, times, I think that's 7:30 till 5:30. Location, Roadblock Studios. So yeah, obviously Roadblock's where they film Doctor Who. So it's pretty safe to assume, I think they even say up there that it's for a Doctor Who episode. So yeah, I think this basically confirms that it will cover Chinese pirates, which is really interesting, and it's a very Chibnall-esque plot, so I can definitely see that being a thing. The reason the urgency is likely due to the number of extras required, and perhaps competition from a Netflix production, which is also seeking a similar ethnicity for filming in Cardiff. The required roles and the size of the cast suggest the set is built in Roadblock Studios, with a village and Chinese sailing ships. Jodie was spotted filming Doctor Who on Sully Beach in Wales, wearing a 19th century purple Chinese, I'm gonna butcher that, Shangshan tunic on the 21st of June 2021. John Bishop was also present, looking rather like a pirate, wearing a poet shirt under a colourful waistcoat. Madame Gill was also photographed on the beach in a plum tunic or frock. So one of the 19th century pirates was famously led by Pirate Queen Zhang Yi Seo. Again, probably going to butcher that, I sincerely apologise. 8 episodes are planned for Doctor Who Series 13, with the filming continuing into July. So yeah, really interesting stuff. I didn't see many people talk about that basically being confirmed, but yeah, now we know that that's confirmed. So very cool stuff. Um, Big Finish has won several. It actually is tied with itself for an audio drama prize. Specifically, the Scribe Awards celebrate excellence in tie-in novel audio dramas based on television shows, movies, and games. This year, the judges were unable to choose between Matt Fitton's Doctor Who Out of Time 1 and Tim Foley's Torchwood, tropical beach sounds, and other relaxing seascapes, and jointly crowned the pair. So basically, Big Finish was beaten or joined with Big Finish, which I think is rather funny. Out of Time, I'll be honest, I enjoyed it, but it is kind of a standard like Big Finish multi-Doctor story, although I haven't listened to the Torchwood one. So there you go. But yeah, well done to Big Finish for basically drawing with itself. That was cool. I think they also won a Guinness World Record for the longest running single audio series, so congratulations on them on that as well. We remembered the third Doctor, John Pertwee, on his birthday a couple days ago. Legend, obviously. May he rest in peace, of course. I thought I'd just bring that up because it's important to bring it up when Doctor Who actors pass away, I think. I think I accidentally didn't get rid of that. Right, this is the next thing. So, Doctor Who panel promises surprise. Doctor Who panel promises surprise guest along with Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, and John Bishop. Now, I haven't read this entire article, but apparently it gives more detail about the stuff that we're going to be sort of discussing in this live stream. So buckle up, kiddos. We're going to have some big stuff going down in this stream. Am I the mystery guest? Well, you've ruined the surprise. It's me. Ta-da! You know, just that bit in is it like Sound of Drums Lost at the Time Lords where he just like takes over? That would be me at Comic-Con. Yeah, let's read the article though. So, Doctor Who panel promises surprise guest along with Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, and John Bishop. Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, John Bishop, and Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall will participate in a virtual San Diego Comic-Con panel moderated by Melanie McFarland, who I believe interviewed them before, on Sunday 25th of July 2021. During this panel, a very special guest will be introduced and join the panel. Who could the surprise guest be? The most exciting possibility would be the actor or actress to play the 14th Doctor. This may not happen, considering the panel is likely designed to promote Doctor Who Series 13 and not future series or specials. There are rumours, but no official announcement, regarding Jodie Whittaker's future as the 13th Doctor on the programme. The surprise panellist could possibly be a famous guest star, or maybe all those reported sightings of Catherine Tate in Liverpool Doctor Who filming are true. The panel will undoubtedly provide some Doctor Who Series 13 news and the premiere date. Ooh, a date would be nice. I think that's something I would really want, actually, because I remember with Series 12... Was it Series 12 or was it Revolution? I think it might be Revolution, actually, where they were very vague about when the date was. They just kept saying 2021. No, not even that. They just kept saying coming soon, and they didn't tell us whether it was Christmas Day or New Year's Day. So I hope that that's something we get. Others hope for news and media on the fans. Wishlist is the title of the premiere episode, promotional photos for the series, further details on John Bishop's character Dan, news on filming, but most of all, a trailer for the series. 8 episodes are planned for Doctor Who Series 13, with filming continuing in July 2021. I think that's all that they say in this article. So yeah, some interesting thoughts there by Cultbox. Cultbox, by the way, is just such a great resource. I use it all the time, just to keep me up to date with all the latest stuff. But the basic, gist of this is just for me to talk about, just some of the possibilities that this mystery guest could be. I'm gonna be honest with you all, right? Even though I really hope it's someone big, in the vein of a Tennant, in the vein of someone like Catherine Tate, something like that, while my heart wants it to be someone really big, my head says it's gonna be someone really underwhelming. I actually joked on Twitter the other day that it could just be Chibnall, but he just wants the distinction of being the special guest. There's some rumours coming out. There's already rumours on Reddit, which I won't read today because I think I'm going to save them for future videos. I wanted to save this stream purely for the stuff that we do actually know for definite is a thing that exists. So that, i.e. means we know that there's going to be a Comic-Con panel. We know that there's going to be... Also, I want to talk about as well the possibility of something at the Euros as well, because a lot of people are saying we're still going to get something at the Euros. To be honest, if we do get something at the Euros and they aren't opposed to showing off an ex-Doctor, if there is such a thing, as a 14th Doctor that's being cast, because some things indicate that there is, some things indicate that there isn't. I think, to me, the Euros would be the best place to show that rather than Comic-Con, because that has, like, I think the last game had 20 million people watching it, and because it's England playing in a final, it'll probably be almost, I reckon it'll almost be like 30 million or something ridiculous like that. I know I'll tune in just to see if there is anything Doctor Who related on the Euros. But what I will say, right, is if they do something for the Euros and for Comic-Con, then that will single-handedly beat the Series 12 marketing in one go, because Series 12, they waited right till the very end, did nothing to tie into events, no Comic-Con, no sporting events, nothing. They just didn't tie it in with anything else. And what resulted in that, in my opinion, was the lower viewing figures, or at least it contributed to that. So, to me, I think if they do what is being speculated they'll do, which is some form of teaser at the Euros and then a full trailer at Comic-Con along with this mystery guest being revealed, then they'll have single-handedly beaten Series 12's marketing, and I really hope that it is a sign of things to come, and we'll continue to get little tidbits up until the October release date, because I really do hope that they've learnt from the mistakes of last year, because Series 12 marketing, I don't think, I've said this over and over again, but it warrants repeating. Series 12's marketing just really wasn't up to the mark, in my opinion. It waited way too long to do anything, and in my opinion, if you want people to watch your show, you've got to make them aware that it exists. And they just didn't do a good enough job at that, in my opinion, last year. So hopefully, this is a sign of things to come. Had to take a phone call back now. No worries, Dan, mate. I am praying for a Euros trailer. I wouldn't say we'll get a full Euros trailer, but more likely, we'll get something to the effect of like a sort of. I said it on Twitter. Like, you remember when Series 11 was coming out and we got like the pizza teaser, or like Jodie's reveal? It would be something more like that rather than a full trailer, I think. To be honest, if they don't do anything at the Euros, that's a golden opportunity they're missing out on. The viewing figures for that are going to be huge. I completely agree. If they don't, it would be... I wouldn't be surprised, and a couple of people have said this on Twitter, I wouldn't be surprised if Chibnall was deliberately waiting to see if England got through in order to put something on the Euros, because that's going to have basically the entire, of at least England. I know that some people in Wales and Scotland will watch it as well, purely because it's the football. It'll have a massive amount of the UK watching. It just makes total sense to put something out to do with Doctor Who on the Euros. They'd be silly not to, especially with where the show is at right now. Obviously, I know a lot of people say ratings don't matter, they're not important, the show's got things like HBO and things like that, and as great as those things are, I do think that, what was I trying to say? As great as those things are, I do think that ratings do matter, because the simple fact is, if no one watches a show, they're not going to keep it on. That's the reality. We saw that most recently with Holby City, which was getting similar viewing figures to Doctor Who last year, let's not forget. So, while I'm not going to say that ratings are the be-all and end-all, I think to say that they don't matter at all is a bit of a... I'm not going to say that it's a complete oversight, but I would say that it's a bit of a false statement, in my opinion. I do think they matter somewhat. Otherwise, why would they even monitor them at all? Tharries, don't you think David Tennant could pull a curator? This is what we need to get into. So, here's the thing. In my head, right, the two options that are most likely, and I even thought this before, as soon as the announcement came out, the two options that are most likely are probably, it's probably going to be either Joe Martin or Sacha Dhawan. Those are the two that I think it's most likely to be. I think it's very likely that you'll either get one or the other. If I had to pick between the two, I would probably say Dhawan. And the reason I would say Dhawan is probably because I feel like Joe Martin's a bit of a spoiler, because it would kind of confirm the idea that they're carrying on the Timeless Child arc and all that sort of stuff. And yes, people will say, well, the Master wouldn't be that much of a surprise because he's the Master, he always comes back. But equally, I kind of feel like this is the same production team, we can't forget, whose literally entire thing was that they promoted, last series when they did Revolution of the Daleks. We can't forget that one of the promotional images they thought was fit to release was a table. Let's not forget that. For some reason, someone keeps getting water. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, let's not forget that this was the same production team who thought it was appropriate to release a table as an exciting promotional image. So I think we should just bear that in mind when we talk about a special guest. I don't think, it being completely honest, that they're going to show someone that big. Ratings do matter, especially when all your merchandise is based on past. They don't need the current show for the majority of it. Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing is, yes, Doctor Who does have the advantage of merchandise and stuff like that, but realistically, merchandise doesn't sell if the show's not doing well. That's just the cold reality of it. Yes, Doctor Who has a backlog, but that can only sustain you so far. Like, you can't live off that. I mean, like, some franchises can, but Doctor Who isn't big enough to live off just that, I don't think. You know what? Whatever happens, and who the guest is, even if it's underwhelming, which is possible, the fact that they've said there's a mystery guest gets people talking. Exactly, I completely agree with the alternate. It's one of those cases where it's actually a kind of ingenious thing for them to announce by saying it's a mystery guest, because you do get, there's actually something to speculate about now. This is what I'm saying. In a sense, like, speculation is almost as good as, like, just releasing something. Because speculation, it almost does the marketing for you in a very weird way. It gets people using, like, word of mouth in a way that they wouldn't otherwise. Like, look at this now. I'm doing an entire live stream, basically entirely revolving around the premise of us just speculating about who this mystery guest could be. Because I really, I'm curious about it, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think it could be. I think there are so many different options, and there's so many exciting possibilities, even though it'll probably not live up to it. It's going to be some Chumblies, imagine they bring back the Chumblies. I think that would get people excited, actually. But as for, like, the 10th Doctor, I said this when people brought it up. If they do bring David Tennant back for this, then that will get people watching. It's a very cynical way to get people watching, don't get me wrong, because you're basically dangling something that people love in front of them and saying, watch it, we're going to bring David Tennant back. You like David Tennant? Remember David Tennant? Watch it. Although, as cynical as that approach is, him coming back would make, this whole, Doctor Who YouTube scene, and anywhere else that talk about Doctor Who, I'm talking the TikTok, the Twitter, the Reddit, anywhere, Gallifrey base, whatever, it makes them go nuts. The internet will explode if David Tennant... Imagine, right, we're at this panel, and they're talking about Series 13, whatever, and David Tennant just rocks up on stage in full costume. Can you imagine the scenes? I'm not saying it would ever happen, and I doubt it will. Like, don't say that, Tharries said that the 10th Doctor's coming back, because I don't think he probably will. But can you just imagine for a second? And I know that people will say that they want other Doctors, and to be fair, I am a bit sick of the BBC's reliance on the RTD era, and specifically the 10th Doctor. But you can't deny just how popular he is, like, and how much of a reaction that would have. The only other Doctor whose reaction would probably even be comparable would be Baker's, but I kind of feel like, with Baker, it's sort of like, I think he should just, like, leave the man to it. Like, he's still doing Big Finish. I feel like, I think it would be unfair to, like, rest a series on him. He's an old man now. I think he's done everything he can. I don't feel like it's fair to rest it on him. Even though, I'd be excited for an announcement like that, but it would just be like, I almost feel like it wouldn't be fair in a way. I don't know whether that makes sense. I could see David Tennant returning to B14 because the curator said he will revisit Faces. I don't think they'd do that because I think that would just be, if anything, like real proof that they don't know what to do without David Tennant. If they literally went back and got him to be the 14th Doctor, that would be, I think, as clear a sign as any that they really don't know what to do. But I don't think they'll do that. But I do think him coming back in Series 13, it's not an impossibility. I know people say, they'll probably save it for the 60th, and I agree, it'll probably be a 60th thing. But the precedent is set now for Doctors to appear in the middle of series. It was set by Joe Martin. Joe Martin was the one who set the trend, and it wouldn't be that much further to say that a known Doctor could come back into the show as well. Like, that would actually be the next logical step. And if you do want to get ratings up, which I think the BBC do, you know, I think as much as they'll say it's doing fine and it's in a healthy place and all that, realistically, I do think they want more than like 4 or 5 million. I think that's the case with how much they're spending on it. You know, you want more than that. And what is a good way to get that? Get back everyone's, like, not everyone's favorite, but like the most popular in terms of at least general public Doctor, and just get him back in. You know, it would be cynical, but yeah. To be honest, the BBC don't know what they're doing without banking on 10 everywhere. Yeah, you make a good point. Like, but that's the thing. It would be a double-edged sword if they got someone like Tennant back, because on the one hand, it would be like, wow, they're actually doing something really cool for this, like, a guest. But at the same time, it would be the thing I said before, where it's essentially, you know, just them admitting, yeah, we're kind of reliant on this now. Not really much we can do about it, but, you know, David Tennant's back, everyone. You know, I mean, it would kind of be them admitting that they're reliant on the past in a very big way. Marvel and DC aren't doing a panel, so Doctor Who should try and take advantage of it. Yeah, I was going to bring that up, so thank you, JAA, for bringing that up. Yeah, they're not doing a panel, so theoretically, this could really be Doctor Who's time to shine if they play the cards right. This Comic-Con could absolutely be the thing that gets everyone thinking about Doctor Who again, if they actually announce things of note. If they do a Revolution of the Daleks panel again, where all they give us is an image of a table and, you know, some vague leading statements about what the future of Doctor Who is, I think it's just not going to be, it's not going to have the impact. They need something big, and something like a Tennant would have that impact. I honestly, though, I think for me, if I wanted a returning thing, I'd want them to tie in to the current story. So I feel like if they do bring Tennant back, if they do bring a past Doctor, I want them to tie into the new plot somehow. I don't want them to just, I don't want it to be like Captain Jack in Fugitive of the Jadoon, where he just sort of shows up for no reason, just to be like, hey, I'm back, bye. You know, I want them to actually tie into the plot. I don't want them to just exist. You get what I'm trying to say? Do you think we'll get a trailer? At Comic-Con, I think there's a good chance. I think at the Euros, I think it's more likely that we'll get just a teaser. Or, yeah, I do think we should get something at the Euros, though. If not, I think I would be like, it's a massive waste opportunity. Could the special guest be a writer? Possibly. I did actually ponder, I said this to a few people last night, if it was Maxine Alderton, because we know that she's a core writer on the series this time round. She might be an interesting person to bring on. If the Reba the Chibnall's contract is expiring is true, the special guest could be the next showrunner. Yeah, possibly. I mean, the thing with that is, with the whole 14th Doctor or new showrunner thing, like, I don't feel like they would bring in new people, because I think it would, not at Comic-Con anyway, I think if they're going to show anything in terms of a 14th Doctor or something like that, it would be during, what was it? It would be during the Euros, rather than Comic-Con, because I do feel like it would be a bit mean for them to just be like, here's the 13th Doctor and John Bishop and Mandip Gill. By the way, here's our 14th Doctor with our new showrunner. You know, I think that would just be a bit, it would come across quite badly, I think. So, if they're going to show anything in regards to a 14th Doctor, I think that would be at the Euros. They will officially announce the returning monsters. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got some nice images of both the Sontarans and the Weeping Angels. I think that's about the bare minimum of what they could do, to be honest. I honestly don't understand. To be honest, though, I don't understand why that hasn't been done sooner than now, because realistically, we had the Jadoon image in Series 12, and I know that's because people said, because they were leaked. Well, yeah, but so have the Sontarans and Weeping Angels. So, I mean, there's no real reason they couldn't have shown us something of the Sontarans' new design earlier on. They should release episode titles like Umbrella Macaulay to tease us. I think an episode title reveal would be quite cool. It would be something a bit more substantial than just, here's a picture, bye. But at the same time, again, I'm trying not to get my hopes up about this, because I know what this team's like. They're very vague, but I said this in my video on this topic, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, Someone put a link to it. If there's any moderators, just put a link to it in the chat. But basically, yeah, in that video I said that if Chibnall's going to attend, then that gives me more confidence that they're actually going to show something of note, because Chibnall doesn't often go to these things. He didn't go to the one for Evolution of the Daleks, and I don't believe Doctor Who's been to Comic-Con since Jodie took over after the Series 11 panel, so he doesn't really show up to things unless it's something of value. So I hope that means that we're actually going to get something concrete to chew on, I hope. Would the special guest be someone we actually all knew? Possibly not. It could be someone completely new. Oh, actually, I forgot to bring this up. Actually, you reminded me of something. Hang on. Where was it? Oop, boop, 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 boop. Oh my god, there's a lot of notifications. Where was it? If I scroll down. Hang on. I need to find it. It's on Doctor Who Production News. Basically, they announced the name of one of Dan's friends, actually. It could just be him, to be honest, if they've announced his name. This is slightly confusing because his agency is listed to the wrong production company. I don't think Craig Ells has done much work for Big Finish. Anyway, he is apparently a recurring role in Doctor Who Series 13 as Dan's workmate Carvanster, which sounds like a Slavic surname. Carvanister. So that's interesting. I haven't seen that up until now, so we have basically an official name confirmation of one of Dan's friends. It could just be someone like that, to be honest. It could be someone rather minimal. I don't think Chibnall will get along with Tharries the Leak Lord. Yeah, I do wonder, you ever wonder sometimes if, like, because obviously, some of these leaks, they do, like, quite well. You do wonder if, like, maybe Chibnall's seen them and is either laughing or thinking, hey, he's not far off, I always wonder what he thinks of them. I thought it was a Zoom chat kind of thing. I think that's what it is. But, he might just... What I'm saying is that someone like David Tennant could randomly just join the chat. I don't know whether it'll release on YouTube. If I can get it... If I can get into the, not actually on the panel, that would be that'd be a miracle. If I could actually get to watch the Comic-Con thing as it comes out, though, I don't actually know what time it starts. But if I can get it at a decent time, and it's on YouTube, I will definitely be streaming it live from here. So if you want to check out this, if you want to watch it with me, and watch my reaction to whatever they're going to show or not show, depending on, because, you never know, then I'll be doing it here, presumably live, and I'll probably do, like, a longer reaction video afterwards as well, depending on what we get. Yeah, just in case, actually, I subscribe to the San Diego Comic-Con YouTube channel, which I can give you guys a link to now if you want, just so you guys can be aware in case they do post anything with regards to this. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it now. I did have it at one point. I don't know how you check. That's my own live stream. That's not what I want. If I go into a new tab, I always keep a second tab of the live stream open just to make sure that we're not experiencing any lag or anything like that. Because I've had it a couple times before now where we've had lag and stuff. But yeah, I'll just find the San Diego Comic Con YouTube channel so you guys can subscribe. So if they do post it there, which I assume they're going to, then you'll know, you guys will know as well straight away. Channel. I think it's Comic-Con International. So because yeah, they show panels and things. So I'm guessing that if it's gonna go anywhere, it'll go here, I presume. So I'll send that to you because it'll be the San Diego one as well, because I don't know what the channel was called that showed the Revolution one off. I mean, I know that was at New York Comic Con, but I don't know whether they have a specific channel. But there we go. One of the sessions is at 6 p.m. our time, and they said on YouTube, as you've said, 6 p.m.'s not too bad. Yeah, I'll definitely be streaming it then. I'll make sure that I can clear up for that, and we can watch it all live together, if that's something you guys want, I suppose. I know sometimes I'm one of these people, because I'm quite a big Nintendo fan as well. So like when I watch Nintendo Directs, I tend to like them just. I tend to like to just watch them on my own, but I know some people, they like to listen to someone's commentary over them. So if you want to do that, I'll be doing it on the, well, when it comes out, the 24th, 25th. Yeah, Sean Pertwee said that it's bad luck to take over his father. I haven't seen that, but yeah, I doubt that he would take over his father. Given what he said before, I don't think he would play the Third Doctor, which is why one of those previous leaks, I was a little bit less... you know, what do you call it? Certain, because of the things he said in the past. I love your videos. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Means a lot. We've been working really hard to get stuff out consistently. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up. So be on the lookout for that. Honestly, like, I can give you a bit of an update. So, in regards to channel stuff, like, so I've been like, a little bit of story time. So, for a while now, I've been waiting for a new office. Like, I'm waiting on a new office space, because when I can do that, I can do a lot more fun and creative stuff. That's why I've got a green screen. Right now, I can't use it because I haven't got room for the lights to correctly light it to do the green screen effect. But when I go in there, I will. So I'm going to be doing so much more creative stuff when I go in there. But like the thing is with where I am now is that like it does limit my certain levels of creativity. So where the leaks came from was essentially me going, how can I make videos at a consistent pace that don't require my face and to get you guys interested? And I thought, well, I'll just do a couple of these Reddit leaks, and that's where we basically are today. But yeah, I'm going to be doing much bigger stuff like in the future, especially for Series 13. Series 13, I'm going to level. I'm going to be like non-stop with Series 13. Like, I'm going to be relentless with it, like constant videos talking about what we know so far about each episode, things like ratings, reviews, everything. I'm just going to go nuts with it, hog wild. Any leaks / news. I went over most of it earlier, Tharries. It was basically just stuff about some new audio releases, the confirmation of Chinese pirates in Series 13, Big Finish award, and the confirmation of Dan's friend's name being, what was it again? Craig Ells, who plays Carvanister. Yeah, that's about as good as I can get it. But yeah, Carvanister. So that's basically the news that we covered. No, I'm not ending. I'm not ending the stream. Most of this, could you do an everything we know so far video? I actually have, and it's relatively recent. So if you haven't seen that, actually, I can link it in chat if you want. It's I understand that there might be quite a few people who are new to the channel who might not have seen some of my less recent videos, but it's just down here. I did it fairly recently. I can send you guys a link now. So yeah, also, by the way, obviously, you don't have to super chat if you don't want to, but it is my birthday next week, and if you would like to super chat, I would very much appreciate it, because it's my birthday. Help me get something nice. Also, I want to know your guys' opinion on the new thumbnail format. I've changed them very so slightly to include not only the new BBC logo, because I want my thumbnails to be up to date, but also the white logo, because I think it looks nicer. I think it looks more symmetrical, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Season 13 will have the same intro music? I think so. I don't really see what their reason would be for changing it. I know that Revolution had a quite slight tweak to the visuals, in the sense that they got made more colourful, I think. Yeah, Tharries Takeover, Ace Creeper's everything we know so far, BS. Yeah. Oh, man, I love Ace, man. He's a great guy. He did a video as well, didn't he? Fun fact, actually, when I did the video on this Comic-Con thing, that was the first time I've ever got a piece of news out before him. Because back in the day, he would just be, like, out with the news pretty much instantly, like, as soon as anything dropped. It's like, how do you keep up with this? But, like, that's the first time I've ever managed to do it, so go me. Have you seen Nerd Den's Bully Maguire versus Dalek video? I'm afraid I haven't, but big up Nerd Den. I want a multi-doc story with Capaldi, as I think it would be hilarious to get 11 and 10, and I guess we'd have to have 13. Yeah, I think that's what the 60th will be. Leak all the leaks. Yes, we love a good leak. I've been like, obviously, like I wanted this stream to just be dedicated mostly to the actual confirmed news stuff, but I am thinking about doing you know, like some more leak videos in the coming days. So look forward to that. There's no one in the kitchen right now, actually. So yep, the kitchen's all clear. There's people in the lounge, but no one in the kitchen. People actually think it's David. I gotta be honest, I don't really think David's gonna be in it, but it's nice on the thumbnail, you know what I mean? Tharries, have a leek cake for your birthday. You know what? Maybe I will, and I'm gonna find it delicious, because I love a good leek. Who doesn't, you know? So is Series 13 Jodie's last series in Doctor Who? They've been really vague about it, and I get asked this question a lot. Essentially, probably is the best answer I can give. Hi Tharries, you're amazing. By the way, I wondered what the regeneration will be like. Oh, Jodie's? Now you're asking. I think it would be nice if we went a more classic route. I'm a bit sick of the yellow glowy effect. I want something new, but that's me personally. No mother reveal this time. No. You only got it once, and that was by pure coincidence and accident. Generally, I like to try and maintain a level of professionalism, but when there's other things going on in the house, you know yourselves, there's things that go on that you just can't avoid. But I like to try and maintain a certain level of professionalism. Do you think Capaldi would be interested in the 60th? Has been distancing himself from the show? Yeah, he's, to be honest, the one that I was less confident about. A lot of the leaks say that Smith's the one that's more hesitant, but honestly, I thought that Capaldi was going to be the one that's harder. He is a massive fan of the show. Sorry, I just got this spooked then. He is a massive fan of the show, so that makes me think that he would be more willing to do it. But then equally, he did say when he left that he was very tired and that he didn't want to come back for the foreseeable future. To Rassilon Tubes we go. Must choose above, between, below. Oh, good old 5 Doctors. Do you believe the Spider-Verse rumours? In regards to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back, I think it's happening. There's too many instances where they've hinted at it for them not to at least be in it in some capacity. I don't think they'll be in it for the majority of the film. I think it'll be like a third act thing. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Yeah, I agree with you on the level. I understand that they want brand uniformity, but for me, I feel as though I just want a new effect. It's been 10 years. Give me something wild. And I know that some people like the brand uniformity, but it's the same issue I have with what's it called? The Time War Daleks as well. Like, yes, they're great for what they are, but it's time we have a change. The problem with the Time War Daleks is that they were deliberately designed with the point of the Time War, and like, because they were all riveted and bolted, they were meant to be war machines. And I know that Daleks are war machines anyway, but these were basically meant to be, deliberately designed to be easier to produce in order for war. So essentially, why are they still here? I want a new, more refined design that reflects the current period of the show. My brother's just stood out the door, got no idea why. Do you want to say hello? No? Alright. If Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the same universe as Tom Holland, no one would live in that New York. I don't think they're in the same universe. I think the idea is that they're meant to come from different universes. And I have seen the latest Loki. I've really been enjoying it. I've been considering doing another video. I've been considering doing a video solely on that. But a lot of you seem to not want me to do other topics. But yeah. And by the way, when I said it with my brother, it was the older one, not the younger one. I think he was curious as to what I was doing. Special guest, I'm guessing Alex Kingston. Alex Kingston is not a bad shout. I'm just not convinced that there'll be anyone actually decent. I hope that there is, but I'm not convinced. Why are people wanting Loki actor as the Doctor? Because there's a lot of similarities between the Loki character in the show and the Doctor. So I think that's why a lot of people want Tom Hiddleston, even though he'd never do it because he's a Marvel actor and he's way too big, if I'm being totally honest with you all. Tharries, I also think the TARDIS should have no pillars because there has been a lot of pillars in previous interiors. It's boring. Yeah, I kind of agree, although to be fair, I do like it in the movie and a couple others as well. 13 collapse on the floor with a white glow. Yeah, I'd like that. To be honest, I'd take anything different. I cannot wait who's going to be the next Doctor after Jodie Whittaker. Though, I mean, everybody always keeps telling me that this actor would play Doctor. Yeah, they always keep, like, saying multiple different people. So, to be honest, I've sort of given up listening to anyone, like, any sort of tabloids. Like, I actually had, like, one video basically calling out how ridiculous one tabloid was that said Helena Bonham Carter was taken over when she wasn't. But, yeah. Now, I want the one who plays Sylvie as the Doctor, TBH. I see her more as the Master, to be honest, or Missy. But, yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't be opposed to her as the Doctor either. In fact, I do believe there was an article we can actually read over. Radio Times. It was a Radio Times article. Radio Times, Loki Doctor Who. Yeah, here we go. Loki Star says she wouldn't turn her nose up at playing the Time Lord, or playing a Time Lord, as fans make the Doctor Who comparisons. Fans compare... no, I don't want to sign up. Go away. Fans compared Loki's third episode to Doctor Who, and it turns out the Time Lady herself wouldn't mind stepping into the TARDIS. The third episode of Loki saw Tom Hiddleston's God of Mischief, sort of, bond with his female variant Sylvie, aka Lady Loki, or potentially the Enchantress. The third entry to the 6-part series offered a dramatic shift in tone, pacing, and sets design, as the pair time-jumped to the soon-be-destroyed planet of Lamentis. Many fans were quick to point out the similarities between the third episode and Doctor Who, which often features time travel, would-be buddies and planets on the brink of destruction. And Sophie DiMartino, who plays Sylvie in the Disney Plus series, agrees. I see what they mean about the episode. The duo as well, she told RadioTimes.com, we're each other's companion. When she was asked if she could see herself as the Doctor, or maybe even the Master, she said, I wouldn't turn my nose up at it, but I haven't really given it much thought, to be honest. I haven't read any of that stuff. With the rumours that Jodie Whittaker will be leaving Doctor Who after its upcoming 13th series gaining track, anything is possible. DiMartino added, it's exciting, though I just like that people, have all these theories and are inspired by Loki. It's great to watch. Episode 3 was almost like doing a play. You really get to the deeper level into their sort of banter, their relationship, and how it's changing. And it was also really refreshing just to do some proper dialogue scenes, because up until that point, I think I'd just been beating people up. So it was really great to get in there and do some character work with the two of them. So there you go. She wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd love it, but, we'll see. I think Tom Hiddleston's too big, though. The thing is with the Sylvie actress is that I think she was relatively unknown prior to Loki. I could be wrong there, but I think she was relatively... I know she's probably done some smaller projects, but Loki has been like her big break. And to be fair, she's killed it. So, yeah, I can see a bright career for her going forwards. Yeah, I made this about Loki. That's great. Yeah, I do love Loki. I can't lie. I've been watching it every week. It's kind of has been my little replacement. Oh, sorry for the spoilers for Loki. It was about the third episode, so I thought that, I was safe. But I do apologise. If we could try and keep relatively recent Loki spoilers out of the chat, though, that'd be good. I'm not a fan of the new chip and the energy effect. It just looks too fiery. Yeah, I agree. The Timeless Child regeneration effect looks... Yeah, it looks a bit cheap, I can't lie. But by the way, if you haven't already, please do like the stream. Very much appreciate that. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Very much appreciated. I know that most of you probably already are, but it's always good. I'm going to end this poll now because I think you've all voted in it. 194 votes? Yeah, I'll end the poll. There we go. I think Ansinko set that up, actually. Is he still in the chat, by the way? I would love to see a special guest be an old Doctor from Classic Doctor. It would be cool, although, I don't think they would announce it at, like, a Comic-Con. I'm surprised Doctor hasn't done a multiverse. It's so popular lately. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the next step after the Timeless Child. I think that is the next logical thing, because we already know that the Timeless Child comes from a boundary, from another universe. So the next logical step would be go to the other universes, see what goes on. Let's get Richard E. Grant as the Doctor. I mean, he technically already has twice, because he did Curse of Fatal Death and Scream of the Shulker as well. Scream of the Shulker is great, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But, Yeah, Richard E. Grant was fantastic as Loki, and I do think I'd love him as the Doctor, although I don't think he'd take it on now. Again, he's one of those who's just a little bit too big now, I think. I would love to see the Shocker Doctor on screen. I would too. But again, I don't think they'd get Richard Grant. Even as much as I would love him to do another stint on Doctor Who, I don't think it would happen. I think that's the problem. Like, there's a leak that I'm maybe covering soon, which talks about, like, potential doctors the BBC are considering, and my main issue with it as a leak is that they're just too big at names for them to feasibly, in my opinion, be considered. But that's just me. 2010's dark gritty 2010's dark gritty cinematic universe. Yeah, I'm glad we're out of the dark and gritty phase, to be honest, because like I feel like the Nolan films, the Batman Nolan films, kind of started the dark and gritty stuff, but nowadays with like cinematic universe stuff, they just go nuts, and I actually kind of love how balls to the wall they're going. I'd love to see the Doctor fixing the chameleon circuit since they have the budget. I mean, yeah, it has happened once before in Attack of the Cybermen, I believe it was, where you have Colin Baker, he fixes the chameleon circuit. But yeah, no, I wouldn't mind another story about that. To be honest, I'd really like another story about the TARDIS in general. I love the TARDIS as a concept, and I want it to be explored more. You know, Doctor's Wife is one of my favourite episodes, and I do think, to be fair, even Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS is fairly underrated as well. But that's just me. Can we do Schalke meets the Cow Doctor? That would be good fun, although I doubt that they do it. But I think I'm going to wrap up this stream for a little while, but thank you so much. It's been a relatively quick stream. I just wanted to get some of my thoughts out there about... no worries, Tharries, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the awesome work you're doing. Thank you. Also, just want to say thank you again, like all, on a serious note, thank you all for 6,000. It's been like nuts, the support recently. I've really, really appreciated it. It's been so fun just like interacting with you guys. It's why I love doing live streams, because they're more interactive and stuff like that. I really, really enjoy. I don't think they'd take away the police box wholesale, but I think what that person was referring to, I forget who brought it up, was you know, just a one-off episode. What do you think about the TARDIS just dying? I think that's an interesting concept. Again, I don't think it would be something that they would keep, though. What about a body swap episode where a companion Doctor switch bodies? I'd like that. Be good fun. Be a good way to explore their dynamics a bit more. I agree. Leaks make support, it seems. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. I would like to see more different rooms in the TARDIS again. Yeah, I would as well, to be fair. Are you looking forward to the Suicide Squad? To be honest, I haven't looked too much into it. Obviously, it's cool that Capaldi's in it, and I'll probably watch it for that. But, you know, I didn't like the first one that much. Obviously, I know it's a completely different director, James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, is doing it. But, I don't know, the Suicide Squad, to me, they're just not one of my favourite teams, generally. Although it does look fun. And, yeah, I'll probably just watch it for Peter Capaldi, to be honest. The subscriber count. Yeah, it was weird. Like, the YouTube was actually behind the subscriber count because the studio was showing it as higher than the actual YouTube thing page was. So yeah, subscribe to beat the YouTube. We're gonna leak our subscriber numbers early because not even YouTube can contain us. That would be very much appreciated. Yeah, thank you all as well for coming out today, because we've had about 100 people at peak, which is always lovely to see. Journey to Centre of TARDIS was ace, brilliant production values. I agree, I actually really do like it. It's one of those I think that is woefully underrated. How would a Doctor Who multiverse work? To be honest, I think they would just have like... the fun thing about a multiverse is that you could do things like the Cushing films, bring them in somehow. You could bring in things like the comic relief and all that sort of stuff. Like, anything can happen in a multiverse. It would be great. Like, honestly, if you want to know how to do a Doctor Who multiverse, I guess Loki would probably be, like, the best sort of case I could give. I think 13's TARDIS needs an episode because it's time. I agree. I really agree. We have not seen enough of Whittaker's the TARDIS in this era so far. What if he only gets 5 minutes of screen time? I'm assuming you're referring to Capaldi in Suicide Squad. then in that case that would be very disappointing. I want to see the Suicide Squad for King Shark, Capaldi, and Harley Quinn. Fair enough. Yeah. Big Finish did do the multiverse thing in Palindrome. I haven't seen that, or listened to that, I should say, but I'll have to give that a look. The TARDIS lived for centuries, so they probably would have to get a new one at some point. That is very true. That is very true. They need to make us like the TARDIS. I agree. That means TARDIS is the one room, and yet books describe other rooms, and yeah, I agree. We need other rooms in like the TARDIS again. We need like more exploration. There was a bit of, they did progress a little bit by showing the like the corridor entryway, but we need more than that. Because like I think it was me and Pacifist who always used to joke, where do they go, to sleep? Because that, in series 11 there wasn't a corridor. Do they just like sleep on the floor? Like that's what I like to imagine. And actually, in Revolution, they even show Yaz sleeping on the floor of the TARDIS in the stolen TARDIS. So I just like to imagine Graham just sleeping on the floor. Have I seen WandaVision? Yes, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people compare the Marvel shows. To be honest, I don't think there's been a single bad one yet. I think they've all been really solid. And actually, being honest, I kind of prefer the format to the movies because you actually get to explore more things about the universe and stuff. I'm starting to prefer the TV shows to the movies, but that's me personally. I love the movies still, don't get me wrong, but like I do like the format of the TV shows. Moffat did great things with the TARDIS. I agree. He did stellar things with the TARDIS. Davis covers it in one of his videos. I assume you mean how the TARDIS doesn't make any sense? Or the Peter Cushing movies already exist? Yeah, no, the Peter Cushing movies already do exist, because I believe in the Day of the Doctor the Day of the Doctor novelization, they say that the Doctor basically helped out with those movies and lent Peter Cushing something for his costume. If they have the TARDIS dying storyline, then hopefully we'll see more of it. I hope so. I don't think that will be a part of Series 13. I mean, I could be wrong. But it's a cool theory, but I do think it's one that's just born out of that one random line through Revolution, and I do also think that from what we understand about Series 13, it's already kind of stuffed as it is, so I'm not convinced that they would put in a big storyline like that, into it already. I could be wrong there, but, that's just me. The show will do eventually multiverse stuff. It's just got so much potential. I completely agree. Have you seen Black Widow yet? No, I haven't. To be honest, I'll probably just wait until it's free on Disney+. Either that or I will go out and see it in cinemas, because I have missed the cinemas a lot. We need a TV verse again, like we did with Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Adventures, and Torchwood. I agree. The issue is Doctor Who big enough to warrant it? Like, yes, the BBC's got enough money to do one. That argument isn't valid. They do have money, but it's whether Doctor Who's big enough to justify it. But that's the thing, see, if they don't try and expand the brand, Doctor Who can, the brand can never expand, and therefore they can never warrant a spin-off. It's like a self-fulfilling circle in a way. I don't want them to show the rooms, I just want them to do stuff, start an episode in a bedroom. Yeah, that would be fair enough. I'd be down with that. Something as simple as that I would be happy with, to be fair. Could they change the Doctor's, could they a Doctor change from a screwdriver like the early Doctors? Perhaps. I doubt they'll get rid of the screwdriver now, though, given how reliant on it Jodie is. But, yeah, I would like a Doctor. I think I'd like a new screwdriver at this point. I know that, obviously, it's only been 2 series, but it does feel like that screwdriver's been around for a while now. Hey, Noah, Andrew, how are you doing? I'm wondering if maybe they will go through a multiverse portal thing from the Times Children. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Like, to me, that would be like the next logical step you could take the story. I love the Time Ladies assumed that 13 would be so girly, wearing girly stuff like heels. Not all women wear girly stuff, and I'm one of them. Yeah, fair enough. At the end of the day, I don't really mind that too much. People wear what they want, but, I do see what you mean in the sense that they didn't really explore Jodie's femininity a lot. And some people like that approach. But, I guess it is something that you can say. That screwdriver is overused, which is why it feels like it's been here for so long. Yeah, that's true. This might be controversial, but I really think the Doctor Who needs a bit of a break. It's a little bit broken right now, and a soft reboot might be in order. I see that, but then equally, I don't want to live in a timeline where Doctor Who doesn't exist. Like, because then what would I do for this channel? I mean, I'd probably want something else, but like you guys, might not be as interested, I guess. But then I suppose equally it would force me to change in a way. But there is something I find, it's almost like, there's something so comforting about talking about Doctor Who in a way, and I've said this before on Twitter, like, as much as this era isn't my favourite, which it isn't, the reason I get so passionate about promotion and stuff is because I still want Doctor Who as a brand to thrive. I still want Doctor Who to be, doing well, because I could never want this show to go away. I could never actively want that to happen. But for me, like, what's I trying to say? Like, a lot of people, they say that they want a break. I wouldn't want that, to be honest, but I can see the line of thinking. At one point, I did agree, but I don't want that to happen. What was I going to say? There was something else I was going to mention as well. So yeah, I was saying how basically I could, that's, even though I'm not a big fan of the era, I can never want it to go away. But also, like, I realised that if I just constantly think negatively about the era, then I'm always going to go into it with that mindset. Yes, I don't really like the era, and I think JX's video does a perfect job summarising my criticisms of it. But I always try to go into it with optimism, because if I don't, then I just end up being constantly grumpy about a show that I love, and that's not a fun feeling. No one likes that, So I've just got to try and be positive, even when I think for me, I just try and find the positives, even when I struggle to. I think that's what I do with Doctor Who. I try and always give it the benefit of the doubt, even though I've always been an advocate for wanting more and wanting things to be better. But at the end of the day, I also know that just being constantly negative really probably isn't going to help. So it's one of those cases where, I don't know, I guess you just try and be positive about it. If it sucks, it sucks. But hey, at least I can do part of the reason I still watch Doctor Who is this. I just love talking about it with people. Even if the show's bad, it gives me something to talk about. And if it doesn't exist, then what, Doctor Who can't last forever. I agree. It can't last forever, but I'm an advocate for it lasting as long as possible. They need to bring out a new trading card set. I believe, actually, they did announce a new physical one. Or am I making that up? I did hear something about it. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, because I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to mention as well. I realised I said that I was going to leave a while ago, but I decided to carry on. But I mentioned a while ago about Edge Reality. There was going to be a new game. I think that's probably going to be not till next year now, at least. I reckon that's because now it just says 2021 instead of spring 2021, and it's definitely not spring anymore. So then, yeah. So I think that's been delayed at least until next year. A 3 to 4 year break could really do the brand a lot of good. They've pulled the biggest card to get viewers, the Female Doctor. In Series 11-12, it didn't last. It needs reinvention. I do agree, but I would put that off for as long as possible. Could Jodie be getting a new Sonic, as I'm assuming that Jadoon have her original and scrap metal version? Perhaps. If Doctor Who gets cancelled, you could do stuff like MCU. That's probably what I would do, to be fair. And I've actually considered doing a second channel just dedicated to all other things Doctor Who, all other things that aren't Doctor Who. So we're talking your Marvels, your DCs, your video game stuff, and like particularly focusing on the leaks. That would be like my niche. Because there's a lot more leaks coming out about other things, particularly Marvel. Like, they have stuff about, like, No Way Home all the time. The Paternoster Gang should return. I don't know. Like, I guess it would be fun to see Strax return alongside some more serious Sontarans. Because it would be like, it would almost, in a way, be like showing what the Sontarans became under Moffat. And then being like, haha. And then shoot them, like... have like the actual serious Sontaran show up. I'm actually really interested to see how they handle the Sontarans, because I do think they were sort of flanderized under Moffat, and I do want them to go back to being a bit more serious. 13 barely has any content. I agree. Like, the thing is, a lot of people say to me, you make leak videos and that, but like, realistically, there's no new content. And there's only so many times you can talk about the same episodes over again. Like, don't get me wrong, I've thought about doing reviews and that, but like, what could I really add that hasn't already been said? So like, for me, it's like, what do you do to find stuff that's new to talk about and is actually interesting? Well, you either talk about Big Finish, or you talk about leaks, really. Because those are the only forms of content we get through a year, outside of when eventually the series decides to air. So it's like, yeah, what else do I do? To be honest, I can't really imagine Strax being written at a Chibnall, because Strax just seems like such a Moffat-type character. I would not say it's negative, but maybe a 2-year gap just to sort some issues. The heyday of the series is certainly gone. Yeah, I do see the point there. But yeah, like, what would I do? I'll just talk about Big Finish. And what else? Like, the magazine? Like, what else is there that's regularly published or released? And, I have other ideas for content, and I do plan on doing them, but, like, occasionally you've got to do things. Gotta go, Tharries. Nice stream, and happy birthday. Thank you, man. My birthday is actually Monday, but thank you very much. Obviously, I'll be posting about it. Also, complete side note, we hit 1 million views on the channel, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome milestone. 6k subscribers and 1 million views all in the same month. That's some pretty cool milestones to hit. Even just give us a confidential return or something. Yeah, exactly. Like, you literally don't even need to do much for that. If I do remember correctly, I saw you stream Doctor Who. Doctor Who what? I did play some Doctor Who games. Yeah, I played some of the old Flash games as well as some Minecraft stuff. But I haven't really done that in a while, mainly because, to be honest, like, there just wasn't a lot to do. Because once you've played them a couple of times, it's, yeah, you don't really know what else to do with them. And also, like, I don't think people were as interested in them as my other content. So, yeah, the BBC keep pushing out on all the merchandise. I just don't think they have a lot of trust in Jodie's Doctor. That is certainly how it comes across, yeah. Do you think the experience could return in London? Perhaps. I mean, the closest we've got now is Time Fracture, and I still want to go. I did see, actually, they announced something to do with some clowns in Time Fracture or something to do with Creation of the Galaxy. But, yeah. Chips doesn't even have Instagram. He doesn't, I don't think. Or does he? I don't know. But, yeah, he doesn't really do a lot of social media stuff. That's actually one of my little pet peeves about the current team, is that they don't really engage with fans all that much. Mandip Gill has a Twitter account. Tozin, I believe, does as well. But outside of that, Jodie doesn't. Joe Martin, to be fair, Joe Martin is really good with it. To be honest, I feel like Joe Martin should be, not Joe Martin should be, Joe Martin just feels like the current Doctor in a weird way because of how much she interacts with fans and how much she's constantly spoken about. Would you play Dalek Mod when it comes out 1.16? Maybe. Maybe it's something I'll consider doing. It depends if people want it. Oh, I think you're thinking of Terraria. Right, okay, yeah, no, Minecraft, yeah. That's alright. It's easily done. Easily confused. Mandip Gill got rid of hers, I think. Oh, her Twitter. I didn't know about that. Clara will be the special guest. That would be interesting. Although, I think it would be more likely to be an RTD character than a Moffat character. Happy early birthday, mate. Thanks, Blaze. Really appreciate that. Is Chips on any social media? I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I will be going at some point, but it's just a case of getting to London. Because obviously London is a bit far away from my neck of the woods. But I do want to go at some stage. It's just a matter of when, and, obviously with COVID ramping up as well, and, it's just, I'll find a way, but it's going to be a while yet, I think. I miss when they posted behind the scenes photos. I agree. But I think I'm going to wrap this up now. But thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later. Also, I'll just see, do you think Doctor Who will get any more views if the Doctors became a man again? I honestly don't think it makes too much difference either way in regards to gender. As long as it's written well, I think that's what they should strive for. But I'll see you all later. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.